Hello everybody, welcome back to our theory exam practice. We shall waste no time and we'll start from question number 10. In case of the vehicle being stopped by traffic congestion, are you obliged beyond this sign to keep a distance of not less than 5 meters from the vehicle in front? Since we already did this question yesterday and we know that our answer is yes, this is mainly because of this sign, which is a tunnel. So you are obliged to keep a distance of more than not less than 5 meters. This is just because of safety. So let's move on. In the present situation, are you obliged to yield way to vehicle coming from the right? We have to take a look at this sign. This is called a priority sign. So the priority sign means the upcoming intersection, you have the right of way, regardless of the other vehicle coming from the right. Because of this sign, you have the right of way. So the question is, in the presented situation, are you obliged to yield way to the vehicle coming from the right? The answer will be no. Let's move on to the next question. This is the same question, but with a different, which has just been rephrased. In the present situation, do you have priority over the vehicle coming from the right? Again, because of this sign we said it means you have the priority, which means you are not giving way to anyone. At the intersection, you are the one who has the right of way. So meaning the answer is yes. We move on. In this situation, when turning left at the nearest intersection, are you entering a no-through road? Because of this sign, we are mainly looking at the after turning left, which means after turning left, the road will be closed, which means it's a no-through road. In this situation, when turning left at the nearest intersection, are you entering a no-through road, which will be yes. Move on to the next question. In this situation, do vehicles coming from the opposite direction have the right of way at the narrowed section of the roadway? When we look at this sign, we see that going forward, you have the right of way. Coming from that side, those guys do not have the right of way because of this red arrow. So in this situation, do vehicles coming from the opposite direction have the right of way at the narrowed section of the roadway? The answer will be no. We move on to the next question. In the visible situation, do you have the right to change lane and drive straight towards the intersection? In this situation, we are in this lane, and this lane can only allow us to turn right. And another issue is this bold line. This bold line does not allow us to cross to the left. It's only guiding us to go to the right. So meaning, according to the question, in the visible situation, do you have the right to change lane and drive straight through the intersection? This will be no. Moving on to question number 16. It's the same question but rewritten. In the visible situation, do you have the right to change lane to the left while exercise extreme caution? We cannot change to the... Do you have the right to change lane to the... We cannot change to the left because in this lane we can only turn right, and this is a bold line. In this visible situation, do you have the right to change lane to the left while exercising extreme caution? The answer will be no. This is because of the bold line and this arrow. We move on. In the visible situation, do you have the right to change lane to the right? Same situation, but because we are already in this line, we cannot change to the right because of the bold line here. This is the only guideline which we have, so we cannot change. So the answer will be no. Moving on to question number 18. I hope you are getting most of my explanations. If my explanations do not make sense, please leave your questions in the comment section and I'll try by all means to answer. Are you obliged on any internal road markings with the relevant road sign to adhere to the road signs presented here? This is more of this is a residential area. So are you obliged on any internal road marked with the relevant road sign to adhere to the road signs presented here? This will be yes, because as much as this is a residential area where people park, there are some cases in which you have to, there are some places where you are not allowed to park, so therefore you have to listen to the road signs. We move on to the next question. In this presented situation, are you on a road with the right of way? If they are asking about right of way, we look at this triangle here. I hope you can see it. It's a bit dark, but I'm sure you can see it. The blue circle with the white arrow, the triangle on top, we have came across it. This means you have priority. Therefore, the answer will be yes. The last question for today. In this situation, are you approaching a place where cyclists may cross a transverse road? In this situation, cyclists usually use this red. There is this pedestrian crossing, and then there is this red trace. This is most likely, not most likely, but this is for cyclists. Therefore, in this situation, are you approaching a place where cyclists may cross a transverse road? This is yes. I hope today was more clearer. If not, don't worry about some of the questions which are confusing. As time goes on, we will get to be used to it because the questions are repetitive. This is for information, sign, direction, and place supplementary. See you on the next video. Bye bye.